Hi y'all, my name is Moose and welcome to my channel Just Moose Things. In today's video, we'll be taking a journey back to the past and reviewing a concert from the year 2023. The concert we will be reviewing is the Godless Goddess Tour by Poppy and Pvris with a specific focus on Paris. Now, we won't be doing this alone. Today we have a very special guest for y'all. Joining us today on Memory Lane is the beautiful, the wonderful, the sexy Mr. Bear Bear.
Hi!
Hi, babe.
I'm back.
You're back again.
Back again.
How you doing, babe?
I'm doing good.
How is you?
Me?
You is fine, baby. That's what you are. You is fine.
I can't with you. I can't.
All right, let's break down how we're going to review this show. We're going to review this show into 4 separate categories. First being production, second being set list, third being energy, and the fourth one being merchandise. 4. Merchandise. We'll be reviewing each on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. And at the end of the video, we'll give our final rating of what we thought about this show. We'll also be rating the category of venue experience. This will not be calculated into our ratings. The overall rating is just part of the experience. So before we begin, I want you, the beautiful viewers, to know the level of knowledge we have with this artist. So we're going to ask each other a couple questions so you know where we are with the knowledge of this artist before we get to reviewing. All right, babe. So what is your first memory of Paris?
My first memory of Paris. Does it count if you forced me listening to Paris in a car ride?
Yep, that does count.
Oh, that does count?
Yes, it counts.
Oh, yes. That's probably my first memory when you forced me in a car ride listening to Paris.
Very accurate. That's how you get them in, y'all. That's how you get them in.
And I'm here.
We are a Paris fan. Yay! My first memory of Paris is back in 2016. I was going to see Fall Out Boy. And of course, I wanted to see like who the opening bands were. One of them was Pvris. And so I started listening to their music prior to the concert. And I just fell hard. I'm like, oh my God, what is this group? This is such a really good music. And I just fell hard from there and stayed a fan from the first album, really. I think their first album had already been out by that time when I discovered them. And so it was just like, this is cool. I'm here to stay. Okay, babe, which of the following do you consider yourself for Paris?
Okay.
Do you consider yourself a casual listener, a fan, a big fan, or a stan?
I will say a fan on Paris.
Yeah.
You turned me into a fan.
Yeah, you're welcome, by the way. You're welcome. I would consider myself a big fan. Definitely not stan level. I don't know everything about them. But I also don't consider myself like fan level. I feel like I've put more energy, I guess. And we'll talk about a little bit later what I mean by that. But I definitely consider myself a big fan. Right. And so last question, babe. Have you seen Paris before? And if so, how many times?
Yes, I have seen Paris before twice.
Twice.
Yeah, one in Austin and then came in San Antonio.
Yeah, so the San Antonio one we're talking about is this video. And then Austin in 2021. I think that was one of our first concerts, like when things started opening up again.
Yes.
At Emo's. But you're also lying on camera because we did go to the first When We Were Young year, and Paris was definitely performing there, and we were definitely standing next to each other.
I really enjoyed that concert or show. Well, it's not a concert. Festival.
Performance.
But Paris was there. I enjoyed Paris' performance at that festival more.
Yeah. I wish, I mean, that was such a short set list, and it was great to see how many Paris fans they had.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
when you have this mega list of like emo punk, pop alternative bands, and then Paris is performing, and then you just see a massive group of people go there, I stand it, and I'm here for supporting such a great band. I do have a funny memory of When We Were Young Fest. It's hard to go through my videos because where we're standing, which is kind of near, not so much the front, but near the front, there's a couple in front of us. And I don't remember if you remember this. But there's a couple in front of us. It's a guy and a girl. And this girl is wasted.
Oh, yeah. I remember her.
Wasted. And she just wants to make out with her boyfriend while Pvris is literally performing right in front of us.
Yeah.
And like she had no idea where she was, and all she wanted to do is just like kiss and make out with her man. And it's just like, you know, you do you, just not in front of us or in front of Pvris. It was such an experience, and I don't think I've ever posted any of those videos online just because it's hard to not have them in the shots because I'm trying to like record up, and they're right in front of us, and yeah, what a memory. But so yeah, you're a liar. Thank you for admitting that. You've seen Pvris 3 times and you just said twice.
Well, you reminded me, baby.
Oh my gosh. I have a lost count how many times I've seen Pvris. I think
more than me.
That is a fact. I think I've seen him 7 times.
Can you name all 7 times?
Okay, so let's go through it. So the first time I saw them was when they opened up for Fall Out Boy in 2016.
Okay.
The second time I saw them was when they performed at South by Southwest in Austin in 2017.
Okay.
Because I was still in school. And then that same year, in 2017 in the summer, I saw them with Muse. They were the opening band for Muse and 30 Seconds to Mars.
Okay.
And then the following year, in 2018, I saw them when they came to San Antonio. So that's 4.
Okay.
Then the pandemic happened. And then we saw them, the pandemic happened.
Okay.
And then we saw them together in 21. And then when we were young, and then last year when they toured with Poppy. So 7 times.
Wow.
Who knows? Maybe an 8 is around the corner. But yeah, 7 times. Not bad. Okay, now that you know where we're at on our knowledge, let's get started. First category is production. All right, babe. So what were your initial thoughts when they first came out? Like when you saw their stage? I kind of started off like when I first saw them, I just saw a couple props, and that's all they had. I mean, they had a projector and lighting, that standard lighting, but they didn't really have much on stage. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree because it's more of lighting, production, and visual of the projector.
Yeah, and we'll kind of get into it a little bit, but they didn't really bring much. I know it's a co-headlining tour, so sometimes it's hard to like bring what you really want to bring because you're sharing a stage with another artist, and that's understandable. But I mean, I wasn't like overwhelmed or underwhelmed. It was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like this is what they have. That's cool. So after experiencing the concert, did you have any thoughts on the sound system? Any concerns or any like bad experience with the sound they provided?
No.
Yeah, I can't say either. I mean, again, we're not experts in sound, but there was like no static or anything like
no
that.
Feedback.
No feedback going like that. So it sounded pretty good. It was in a theater. It was in a small theater, and where we had, for context, we were in the G8 pit. But the way that theater is divided is on 2 levels. It kind of like there's a stage, and then you have like a pit that kind of dips. It's not really flat. It dips, and then you're on a flat platform, looking like standing at level with the stage. And so that's where we were standing. So we were kind of centered, and we can hear everything. There was no bad sound to where we were. Okay, and then last question: what were your thoughts on the show's visuals? So, like I mentioned earlier, they had a projector, and then they had a light. But what were your thoughts?
The visuals were really good because it ties to the song. Like, it stays on beat with the visuals. That's all I can say. It's very colorful.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of stuff going on the projection. I think when they first started off, they did use a projector, and again, and in the end as well. So just depending on what song, they'd use a projector and they'd not use a projector for projection and visuals. What they definitely did use was lighting. For every single song, and I feel like not a lot of bands have the not so much skill, but the way they use lighting is very good. It's very, very simple, but it's correct, if that makes sense. Like, they just know how to use lighting well. They don't need much. I mean, they're here to produce music, and that's where they're best at, and that they do a very good job. But yeah, I mean, I think their strongest is not so much prop or projection, but lighting for sure. Okay, babe. So now it's time to rate. We're gonna rate again from 1 to 5. 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. On production alone. So we're just gonna rate on production alone. Cool. You ready?
Yes.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. So, a matching 4. Why'd you give them a 4?
Because I just love the music or the production itself.
Yeah, it's a very simple production compared to a lot of artists that we've seen, and even to like some of the stuff they've done in the past. But sometimes simple works, and I think it works really, really well for them. And like I mentioned earlier about the lighting, I feel like they know how to use it very well to their songs.
Yeah.
So I think a 4 is good. I definitely would say that they can always add more, so that's why I didn't give it a 5, but I think 4 is very good for them. Like, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
All right. Second category is set list.
Ooh la la.
A little bit of context. So they got on stage at 7:55 p.m. Because they went on before Poppy, but they got off stage at approximately 8:55 p.m. So they were on stage for an hour, and in that hour, they performed 20 songs, which is a lot. Not gonna lie, that's a lot of songs for 1 hour. One thing I will say, they didn't perform all these songs fully. There were some songs that were kind of cut off, or shortened, so they weren't at full length. And then there was, within that, and also separately, were songs mixed together. So they would start off with one song and then transition into the next song, and not so much like, oh, here's the end of the song, the next song, which is pretty standard. Which what they did was they started with one song and then kind of did the bridge and then transitioned to the next song, kind of similar beat, which I like. It's kind of like a mashup. That's what I'm trying to say. They did some mashup performances of these songs. But I'm going to read the set list now. So again, 20 songs, and in order of performance, they started off with I Don't Want to Do This Anymore, and then Animal, Dead Weight, Fire, Hype Zombies, Smoke, Love Is A, Use Me, Sentimental, Monster, Good Enemy, Anywhere But Here, Mirrors, Hallucinations, Take My Nirvana, Evergreen, Headlights, Death of Me, My House, and finishing up with Goddess, which kind of makes sense with the last song because it's called the Godless Goddess Tour. That's where the Goddess would come from, at least from the Paris point of view. All right, babe, now that we've read over the set list, what are your 3 favorite songs, not from Paris, but like the performances of this particular show?
So based on the set list.
Based off the set list I just rescued. And that you were also physically there and experienced all of this.
I enjoyed Dead Weight. Dead Weight was a really good song to listen to. Hallucinations. I really enjoyed Hallucinations.
You would like that one, yeah.
If I have to pick one more song, it'd probably be Monster.
Monster, yes, it's a good one. That actually was one of my top 3 for me, because the last time we saw them in 2022, prior to this performance, I don't think Monster had come out yet, or if it did, it wasn't on their set list. I forget which one it is, but we hadn't heard it live yet. So when they performed it, I was very excited because we hadn't heard it since whenever it came out. The other one is Love Is A. I just love that song. It's from their new album that they had just released last year. And so that was one of my favorite songs from that album. So that one. And Good Enemy, I also, again, from the new album. So some of these songs or quite a bit of these songs are from their new album. So getting to, really listen to these songs for the first time. And Good Enemy, again, one of my favorites on that album. Okay, babe, now let's get ready to rate on this specific category of set list.
Ooh. Okay.
1, 2, and 3. What did we give each other? A 3 and a 5. Oh my god, drastic.
Just because of 2 songs.
Because they didn't perform 2 songs, so each song gets individual points.
Exactly. They didn't perform 2 songs.
Okay, what songs did you wish they had performed?
You and I.
You and I, iconic.
And Burn It All Down.
Burn It All Down, which we haven't heard live.
Yes, we had, I believe, in Austin.
We did?
Did they not perform that song in Austin? I thought they did.
I don't think that song was out yet. I think it came out that year.
Probably did.
So you fell in love with Paris when I took you there, and then that song came out.
Or they played it at the festival, did they not?
No.
No? Probably. I don't know.
But you're right, that song has not. They didn't perform that song.
Yeah, they didn't. I enjoyed that song.
Cool. I give it a 5. Though they perform some songs. We did. So there are some songs I wish I'd perform more, but I feel like if it was just by themselves, they would have more time to perform more songs. Also, 20 songs in an hour is a lot, and not a lot of artists can do that. There's some artists that can barely do 10 songs in an hour. So the fact that they did 20, that's, top tier. And I give them props for trying to give us as much content in such a short amount of time. Yeah. So definitely a 5 for that. Third category is energy.
G.
But I'm not.
All right, babe. How would you describe the energy Paris was giving during the show?
10 out of 10. Energy was giving.
Energy was given.
Yeah, it's just the audience energy.
So yeah, that's actually my follow-up question. Like, how do you felt about the crowd's energy throughout the show? And I do have some input on that. But go ahead.
I think the crowd's energy is more steady. It's like as it progress, but it's kind of like some songs just like flatline.
Yeah, so I don't think it has anything to do with Paris.
Yeah,
this has to do, and this kind of happens. I've experienced this in the past, where they're doing a co-headlining tour with Poppy, and not everyone know who Poppy is. So you have a lot of Poppy fans who don't know who Paris is, and a lot of Paris fans who don't know who Poppy is. So that mix of, and not so much genres, but a mix of artists fandoms, you don't know who's there for who until the artist is there. Half of the time they're performing to, or not half, but part of the time they're performing to their fans. They know their fans are there and they're turning up. But in the same crowd, you have people who have never heard of Paris and like are here for Poppy, and they're like, oh, it's just another band. And so I'm like, okay, well, listen. So they're kind of performing like dual. They're like, yes, we're here for our fans because we're co-headlining a tour. But also new fans that have never heard of us at all, and this is the first time they're seeing us. So the crowd energy was just not as it has been when we've seen like Paris, and they're like, we're surrounded by just Paris fans.
Yeah,
and that happens when they're doing co-headlining tours. I mean, to throw you off, like I've seen Fall Out Boy and Wiz Khalifa. You can definitely tell who was there for who. But that's such a drastic, change of genres and fandoms. So it happens, and that has nothing to do with the artist. It's just how it is with these fandoms, and they've never heard of each other, and that's how it is even when you're the main band and you have the opening bands, they don't know who you are, and your job is to just give a performance for the fans that are there, and then like perform for people who have never seen you perform. That's how it goes. Last question.
Yep.
How would you describe your energy throughout the show? Would you consider like low energy, pretty mid and standard, or were you like definitely above everyone else's wavelength?
like you.
Like I said, how would you describe?
I have recordings to prove it.
I have recordings.
He just screamed and sang.
I have video footage that I was definitely in it, and I do this sometimes. I've definitely done this with like Paramore before when it's when they're not where they're not headlining their own show. I just scream a little louder to because there's such a vacuum of space because people are like don't know who Paris is or whatever the case may be. And so I'm just like, yes, I do know who Paris is, and I'm gonna sing horribly and louder at the same time to make up for that. That's how I am.
But my energy, it was probably mid. Yeah, very mid. It just depends on the song.
Yeah, and I mean that's true because some of these slower songs, which are still fantastic, which makes sense. The energy for it to go up and down.
Yeah.
But like I said, when there's not, I don't want to say there's not a fan, but when you're surrounded by a mix of people, you can't really tell who's what.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of overcompensating, and I'm like, I know I'm a Paris fan, so I'm gonna show I'm a Paris fan.
True.
To make sure they can hear. Cool. All right, babe. So now we're gonna rate the category of energy for this individual show.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. What do we give? Oh, this is weird. So you give him a 4. I give him a 3.
Yes.
Let us know what's the 4.
The 4 at one point, it's just Paris was giving their all. In my opinion.
There's no doubt in that. Like they were giving a performance.
Yeah.
They were pretending the entire audience was Paris fans, and I mean, we individually were like living for that, and that's what we're here for. But the crowd was not there. Our energy was there, Paris energy was there, but the crowd I wouldn't say was fully there. There was Paris fans there, of course. but I wish it would have been like a full Paris fan.
Yeah.
I think that would have helped our experience. Again, it has nothing to do with Paris. It's just like when you're surrounded by a bunch of people who are just fanning over the same thing and giving it all, that really elevates the experience.
That's true.
And I don't think we had that at this show. And again, very common at co-headlining tours. Nothing to do with the artists. It's just, you know, us as fans. Us as fans all mixed together. But yeah, that's my rate. Fourth category is merchandise. The failure of me is that I honestly thought I took a photo of the merchandise, and now I can't find the photo, so I can't show you what merchandise they had during this tour. But of course, it was like Poppy, Paris, and the opening artists.
Yes.
But we are wearing what we bought at that show, Paris Live. We stand, and in the back, if you want to be our little model, you get to see the Goddess tour, and it has all the tour dates. Very nice, very simple, but I like it. And I like the little Paris that it has in the front and the logo. So yeah, I think that's the only thing we individually got. Paris t-shirts.
My first Paris t-shirt.
Is it your first?
Yes, it is.
I think this is like my third, maybe. Maybe. I think this is my third Paris t-shirt. I honestly don't remember. Maybe fourth. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, no. And then the shirt is very comfortable. Worn it a couple of times. I like the material. Paris usually has very good material as when it comes to their merchandise. So definitely a fan of that. All right, now let's get ready to rate on merchandise by itself. 1, 2, and 3. What do we get? Ooh, a 3 out of 4. What a switcheroo. Why a 3? And please don't say because you don't remember.
No, I do have a reason. Because it's just mid. It's just not good nor bad. It's just simple, but I like simple.
Yeah.
So I just need that wow factor. It's like, yes, I'm definitely going to buy you.
Yeah. I don't think I've had a merchandise from Paris specifically. I don't think, like, since I've been a fan of them, I'm like, oh my God, their merchandise is on fire. In the sense of that, I don't think I've ever seen that, nor do I expect it. But I see your point. I gave them 4 because I just, even though you're right, they don't have a lot of stuff and it's kind of more on the simpler end. It is comfortable. You'd be surprised how much merchandise other artists sell that looks so good and it's not comfortable, or it shrinks after the first wash. Paris, reliable, and we stand that. We're here for that. So thank you. Last category is venue experience.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
So, babe, what were your thoughts on the venue? And so, for context, we went to the Aztec Theater in San Antonio. So, what were your thoughts on the venue?
When's the last time we were there?
It was for Paris.
It was, but previously it was
For them.
a DJ, right?
Yeah, we went to like the Victoria's DJ. The guy from Victoria's who was DJ.
I know.
iParty?
iParty, yes. The venue was good. It's just the floor was sticky. I remember the floor was sticky.
That is so random, but that's because someone probably dropped something and it got sticky.
Yeah.
I've actually seen Paris there when they're headlining, and I love the venue there. I think it's very good. It's still very intimate. I also think it's very unique. So this venue, again, like I mentioned, it has like 2 GA. It has like the floor GA kind of curve to look up at the stage, and then you're at level, but which is good if you're a short person, but then even if you're a tall person, like we're tall, you're looking directly at them. So if someone is like this much taller than you, you can't look up to like, oh wait, let me look a little bit higher to see them more. No, your view is totally blocked. Now behind that is like kind of like a VIP bar lounge area.
Yeah.
And then they have a second level or the balcony, and then that's all seated, and you just have to look down. And I've also sat up there before. So I mean, it's kind of like a preference, I would say, but I think now experiencing all three, I probably would go down on the curve but stand somewhere near the back. So if someone is taller, they're at least slanted and lower and looking up. I don't know. That's my thought. Was it easy to find our seats and get through our seats? I mean, we had GA, so we could stand in one of the two sections wherever. When we got there, doors had already opened. It was before the opening act, but doors had already opened, so people were kind of already like, the early people already said where they want to stand. So we just had to find the best like standing opening to see. Did you have any issues with like guest services or security at this show?
No issues at all.
Yeah, no, we didn't experience any issues. I mean, we just got through security, pretty simple, standard. Then we went to merchandise.
That was a pretty long line, but it went by fast.
The merchandise?
Yeah,
no, they went pretty quick. And then after that, we just got shown where to enter for general admission, and then we were on our own.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna rate this last one, but again, it does not affect our overall rating. This is just on the venue experience by itself.
Correct.
1, 2, and 3. Oh, interesting. What's the 4 for?
Why you gave it a 3? That's what I want to know. It's like,
I mean,
I gave it a 4 because it wasn't a bad venue, and you were describing the place as like, oh, it's really good because you have very varieties of places you want to see.
Yeah, so like the venue by itself, no issues. I mean, it was just mid. It was just like going. We didn't have any difficulty. So 3 is, standard. But it wasn't like mind blowing. I'm like, oh my god, we had an amazing and we didn't have any like food or drinks that they served there. So
that's true.
That didn't really affect. Maybe that would have like heightened our, at least my rating and experience. But we didn't have any of that.
No.
And then, like I mentioned before, because where we chose to stand, it was just flattened, so kind of like block. If we were in the same area, but we were in the front, I think it would have been perfect.
Okay.
But that was the decision we made. So I think if we were standing somewhere else, either lower or closer, that probably would have helped our experience. I mean, we're fine. We had a great time, but that's just, a view of where it was. Okay, babe. So before we reveal our ratings, give us your thoughts overall on the concert experience.
The overall concert experience. Oh my gosh. It was a good experience. I like it. So that's all I have to say, really.
Yeah, no, it was definitely good. Like I mentioned before, what kind of affected us was probably like we weren't surrounded by fully Paris fans, which I hope some of those Poppy fans converted into Paris fans, because Paris is amazing and we're here for them, and you should go check them out whenever they're on tour again and listen to their music and stream them. But we had a great time. We had a blast. We were there for Paris, and that was our main focus, and we enjoyed seeing them. We hadn't seen them them in a tour per se.
Or tour.
Well, no, I don't think I've ever seen them co-headline. I think this was my first time them co-headlining.
Yeah, I've never seen them. Cool.
But we were here for it. We were standing them, supporting them, loving the experience and loving their music. And they had just released their new album, so we were excited to hear new music from them. And so we had a good time. I think we definitely had a blast with this co-headlining tour. All right, ready to reveal our final ratings, our overall ratings?
Overall.
Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, and 3. 3.5 and a 4. So what we did, we averaged out. We added all of our ratings, averaged it out, and got either a 3.5 or a 4. So I think those are pretty good scores. I mean, 3.5 is kind of closer to the mid, but 4 is definitely a very good score. So I don't know what you got going on there, sir, but you should
Get a check.
you should get that check. But who knows? Maybe next time when we see Paris and it's just Paris by themselves, that rating will go high, and so
It
maybe
probably
that will
will
change.
go high.
So we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I have a last question before we conclude this video.
Uh-huh.
Would you go see Paris again?
Absolutely. I will.
Absolutely, definitely. Always here for Paris, and I think, if I'm correct in my numbers, Paris is the artist I've seen the most.
Oh, I believe that.
At the moment, I think it's either Paris or Paris is tied with Paramore. I need to look back at the numbers, but I think Paris is leading Paramore, and Paramore is number 2, and Paris is the artist I've seen the most, which is what I call iconic. So, yeah, no, I'm excited. Whenever we see them, I'm excited to see them again. Thank you, babe, for joining us again.
Yes.
You are always welcome. We love having you here, third time here. So thank you for continuing to coming back for us. And also thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. We would greatly appreciate it. Also, feel free to subscribe down below. It's 100% free for you to do. It costs you nothing, and would mean the world for me for you guys to subscribe. And I actually have a question for you. One, did you attend this Poppy Paris co-headlining tour? And if you did, what was your favorite moment? And where did you see them? Let me know down in the comments. I kind of want to know where you guys were. And if you have seen Paris, also comment that below. I want to see how many times you've seen Paris. I am sure there's a lot of you out there that have a higher number than 7 than I do. But yeah, just comment down below. Kind of want to see where you guys are at. And till then, we'll see you next time. Bye.